Rowan here. I thought today I might make a video talking through some of my favorite tarot items. Ideally, I'd like to get through my entire tarot collection today, but we're going to start with my tarot paraphernalia, then we're going to go on to my oracle decks, and then if we have time, we'll make it to my tarot collection. If not, I'm going to record that as a separate video. But we're going to see how this works out. I'm just shaking out my tea here. I love my little froggy tea strainer. He's so cute. Alrighty, so what I have right here, this is some of my tarot paraphernalia. Let me just take a drink, I'm thirsty. So as far as notebooks go, I actually have 4 things that I would consider tarot notebooks. The first of those is not even here. It is my grimoire. When I first started studying tarot, I did not have a separate notebook. I just had my grimoire. Hold on. I didn't think to mark this, but let me find the first ever tarot study that I did. It was this. And then daily pulls, some notes on the minor arcana. See, all of this is just the major. It's just a bunch of silly little shorthand. Taught me very little, but that was all I needed to start with. And then this was very confusing. This chart right here, do not screenshot this. This is I would completely redo this. I'm actually going to completely redo this at one point. But this was the first tarot related note I ever took, set of notes I ever took. And then later on I started adding spread layouts, and here's 2 pages of spread layouts side by side. Some of these I made myself. This one I made myself. This one is sort of based on something Lisa Pepez did. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't really care to show those off a whole lot. I've copied them over elsewhere better. Nowadays, I still use my grimoire for my tarot related things, but I use it as a mobile altar. So when I am, let's say, out and about in my car and I want to do a pull that's like spiritual, I've literally never done this, but if I wanted to, this is what I would pull out. I would pull out my little mobile altar. Actually, that's a lie. I think I've done this maybe once or twice. But I pull out my little mobile altar, and I've got one here to the goddesses. This was before I realized I was working with Aphrodite without intending to work with Aphrodite, so I started honoring her as well. And then my work with the horned god Cernunnos. Nowadays, I've very, very recently started to consider working with Apollo, just because I feel like I need some sun god in there to balance out all the moon goddess energy that I've got going on. And one of these days I'm going to figure out which of the many genderqueer gods I want to incorporate into my practice, and that's probably going to be one of my patron gods that I work with when the time comes. I really have to stop smacking my phone setup. I film everything with my phone, by the way. Fun fact, everything with my phone. I have a very expensive camera. I just don't use it to film with because it intimidates me. So yeah, like I said, I've said it before and I'll say it again, like we are trying to get past my need for perfectionism. We are focusing on making things and disconnecting ourselves from the outcome of the thing that we're making. It's just about the process, baby. It's just about the process. All right, so that's how I use my my grimoire as my tarot notebook. I also have, hold on one moment more. I also have this binder, which I use for the Holistic Tarot Supplements. I also currently have my copy of the Poesis poetry in here. I'm very slowly working my way through Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wynn. Very slowly. very slowly dropped off. I haven't touched the book because it's intimidating. I haven't touched it in quite some time. But I have started finally keeping tarot journals, which is something that she recommends. And for the longest time, I was like, no, I'm not going to keep a tarot journal because I keep everything in my grimoire. Well, then my grimoire ended up being almost entirely tarot-related stuff, and I was like, no, I'm getting burnt out on tarot, and so I really had to reel it back in and start delving. That's when I started working with deity more. It was honestly just because I needed to get into an aspect of my practice that was less tarot-centric. Now I do use tarot and my deity study together, but it's, I still fall back into witchcraft anytime. Like the practice as a whole, usually more of the crafting parts of the practice. So like herb crafting, mixing teas, making incenses. I fall into arts and crafting. I do consider a lot of the collage work, such as what you saw in my grimoire, like a lot of the collage work that I do is very heavily inspired by my, my spirituality. And then I also will like read a lot of books, a lot of tarot books. That's another thing I do when I get burnt out. I didn't really mean to go down this rabbit hole. We're gonna cut off that. That's like honestly like a whole nother tarot video tag thing that I don't want to get into because I'm such a newbie. I feel like I don't have room to talk about tarot burnout like in any real way. Let me replace this candle so that I can have my yummy incense going. Pardon me. We're just hanging out, you know? Sometimes distractions happen. We're just hanging out. Okay, but those are two of my tarot journals that are not pictured here. Before we move on to my other two tarot journals, let's talk about my little on-the-go mobile bag. That's what this guy is. I love it so much. I got it on Amazon. I'll see if I can find and link it down below, but no promises that I'll be able to relocate this item. I share Amazon accounts with like my whole extended family, and so there's like a lot of orders there. I'm not patient enough to scroll all the way back to when I got this, but I'll see if I can find it. So I keep makeup in here. I have a nail file in here currently. That's probably something I should take out. Mascara, lip gloss, things like that. I also keep an oil in here. This is the one I use on the go. It's got cinnamon and mint in it, so I cannot use it around the house because of the cats. So it stays in a little bag in case it spills. I have a spray for my car. This I got at my local occult shop. I'm not going to tell you what it's called because I don't want to dox myself. So I'm currently, this is my rune, it's covered in cat hair, excuse me. This is my rune set. It's not really tarot related, but I keep it in my on-the-go bag because I'm currently trying to do a rune study. I'm reading through my first rune book. So these are my runes. Ooh, two. We got, okay, see, I don't even know what these two are called off the top of my head. See, I'm not very good at runes, but I'm working on it. We're going to get there. I do have an entire several pages in my grimoire currently dedicated to runes. We might end up having our own rune journal one of these days. We'll see. Oh, did you just see my cute little, my adorable little robe that I'm wearing? I keep some candles in here. I don't think I'm ever going to use them. There's also some of my anxiety meds in there. Excuse that. An extra pen. Pens are another magic tool that I consider very important in a magical practice. And then finally, my Daily Driver tarot deck that I made a video about. This is the Rider-Waite Smith in the poker size. So this stays with me all the time. There's some crystals in here. My Hecate key is in here, etc. Okay, so moving on. Now we have my two tarot notebooks, my tarot journals. This one is a proper tarot journal, as in I have readings in here. And this bad boy with the pink elephants, this is my tarot studies notebook. So this has my little cheat sheet for here, let's take a look. And then we go through the numerology and the quartz. So that's my little quick cheat sheet that I made after completing the rest of this book. And what is the rest of this book? Well, I'll tell you. It's me learning to understand this side, learning to understand the tarot. So this is a project that I am constantly working on and that I hope to outgrow this journal someday. But basically what I do is I go through all of my tarot notebooks and I copy over, hold on, I'm so thirsty. I copy over all of the keywords that resonate with me. And any keywords that are specifically for that deck, I may or may not add to this notebook depending on whether they overall expand my idea of that particular card, or if I find them to be really exclusive to that deck, I might not include them because the artwork itself, hypothetically, ideally, will show me what I'm supposed to be taking away. This notebook is currently only in round 1 of what it will eventually be. I've only gone through 2/3 of my decks to make this, and I have not included any of the tarot books that I have read in here. So I have to, oh my goodness, I have to go back through the meanings in Rachel Pollack books. Oh, that sounds so laborious, but it's something that I need to do. I need to go back through both Holistic Tarot, Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom, Queering the Tarot. I need to read the Pictorial Key to the Tarot in its original form. I've been putting that one off because it's just so dull. I don't want to do it. So you can see I've got some notes here about the position of number 8. I've also got notes once we get into the minor arcana, fire or air, it says, for the suit of wands. Some of them I specify Wiccans do air. Usually Wiccans do air. So like I've got, for the major arcana, I've got affirmations. I have a breakdown of what I think a straight up read, like if I wrote a guidebook, this breakdown right here is sort of what that guidebook would say. And then these are all keywords that I've taken from my first round of going through my decks. In March, I'm going to be getting a tarot deck that I pre-ordered in the mail. And when that deck comes in, I think that's when I'm going to initiate my next round of deck studies. So I am really looking forward to doing another round in this notebook. I come to it when I do, there's some sticky there. I come to this notebook when I'm doing my tarot readings, and I get kind of stuck, or when I'm using a deck that doesn't have a guidebook, and I get to the point where I need a little guidance. You can't see it, but I need a little guidance. You'll see also I've got some examples of the cards here on the left-hand side. These are, some of them are really hard to see, aren't they? The ones from the Fountain Tarot are really hard to see. These are some of my favorite examples of these cards. As my collection grows, so too will these. I will add more. I've determined I can fit up to 20 cards on this page. So that will be another round of crafting that I will do. And that is definitely more in the arts and crafts kind of area. So that's my tarot studies notebook. And finally, this is my tarot journal. This is where I put my tarot daily reads. Here is the, let me scoot it up a little. Here's the main page, the home page, I guess. I've got my starting date here, and then whenever I run out of pages, I'm going to put that as a closing date. My name is down here. I covered it up because I'm not looking to dox myself. But some of it's pretty, some of it's ugly. I mean, honestly, I'd rather you not, like, read it, but ideally you can't make it through much of my handwriting anyways, but I don't think there's anything too personal in here. I keep it very vague most of the time. I think as personal as I get is I need to do less of my bad habits, and I talk about my cats some. Okay, so this is my year ahead reading that I did at the start of the year. I used the Fountain Tarot for it. I don't know how clearly you can see all the cards that I pulled. I also used my personal Oracle deck that I made. Oh, which, by the way, I've got such exciting news. I have scanned in all of the cards and made an 18-card expansion pack that's fully text-based for my Oracle deck, and I'm going to be getting my first trial version of my personal Oracle deck sometime in March. I'm so excited for it. If I like it enough, I might consider opening it up for public sale, but quite frankly, it shows an embarrassing process of me learning how to control watercolor. It was very much so a learning process for me to make that deck, and I don't necessarily know. I don't know that I'm willing to let people see how many mistakes that I made, but on the other hand, again, I'm trying to get past my own perfectionism, and just in general, this one's about gender stuff, just in general trying to get better about being vulnerable in public. So maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. Who knows? I mean, if I make something that's bad, who cares? At least I made something. The world is full of bad things. The world is, as long as it's not like actively harming people, as long as it's just kind of like mediocre, I think it's fine. I think I'm allowed to make mediocre things. I think it's fine if I pursue mediocrity for fun. Only for fun, not for like financial status. Well, I mean, maybe some people want to. I don't want to. I want to be the best at what I do. But for hobbies, let's let hobbies be casual. Let me let myself be a fucking casual at my hobbies. Yeah, that's my opinions that I'm trying to beat into my head. But this is my tarot journal where I write about all sorts of stuff. I have yet to like actually delve into some of these. You'll notice that some are largely blank. I do intend to come back to them. When I'll come back to them is anybody's guess, but I flipped through here so much just for the visuals of it that I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow I go back to one of those entries. Oh, all of my shaking has put my cute little candle out. I need to stop shaking the table. Anyway, tarot journal, very important to me. I'm going to have some coffee or some tea and we'll continue. Okay, let's set this aside. And before I get out my decks, I just want to light a little sandalwood. Okay, Oracle decks. Let's start with my personal Oracle deck. This is the one that I was mentioning earlier. I'm going to have this one in a shuffleable form soon, and that just blows my mind. It is fully not shuffleable. It is currently on watercolor paper that is backed in contact paper. It is too... stop bumping the camera. It is too big for my hands to grip, to riffle shuffle it. Like, look at that. Well, so I have scanned it in and am making it in standard tarot size. So some of the edges of the images are going to get cut off. But that's just how it goes, you know? I'll just, like, you can see some of these images like this. I love the way the texture on this one came out. Is it focusing? I think so. This one looks like a butthole. It's supposed to be the Big Bang, but it looks like a butthole, so it also means retention. This one's very gay. This one's meant to be gay. This is about women loving women. This is about feminine love for the feminine. This one turned out to be very maternal. Sorrow. See, like some of these, this one I feel like I was really just throwing in the towel. I don't feel like I properly represented the emotion that I set out to represent when I made this card. This one I like. This one I don't. This one I like even though it's on the nose. This one I don't. Actually, this one I kind of like, but not the way it looks. I don't like it as a sun. I like it as a kitchen table. You know, some of these I'm just not proud of. Some of these I'm super proud of. I don't know where I stand on it, but I'm really happy to have made it. This one I hate. This one I hate. Kim Cran's Wannabe. This one is a slug. I didn't mean for it to be this way, but this is the way I see it every time I see it. Which is a bummer, because it really is intended to be, you know, fully vertical, no horizontal cards. Some of these cards will lose a lot in translation when they're no longer watercolor, but I'm excited to see what that looks like, just to have said that I made it. In the end, I think with shipping and everything, making the deck cost me like $40, $45 maybe. I'll show y'all what that looks like when it comes in. And this is the custom bag that I made for it. My husband is about to take a shower, so if you hear any noise in the background, that's what that is. Hopefully it's not too obnoxious. I doubt it'll last very long. He doesn't take long showers. But yeah, that's what that noise might be. Alrighty, next deck. I'm not going to talk about this one long. This was the first ever tarot deck that I purchased for my, or not tarot deck. This was the first ever Oracle deck that I ever purchased for myself. A Yogic Path by Sahara Rose. This is, I want to say 54 cards. Let me check the guidebook. Oh, well, that's not helpful. It doesn't tell me. There's a lot. I want to say it's between 64 and 54. There's a fair amount of cards, but it leans a little bit too much on the you have everything that you need already. Just find your one dharma and make sure you're in line with it and everything. And I mean, like, I get it. Life is about finding your dharma, but I would like it to be a little bit less. You got this, girly. You can do it. Yes, queen. I would like it to be a little bit less of that and a little bit more. Here is what Ayurvedic yoga tells you that you can do in order to balance out these aspects of yourself. Like, if I am, like, if I'm off somewhere in my life, I want actionable advice. I don't know. This deck wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and that's a me problem. I need to stop blaming the deck. It's not the deck's fault. If you like this sort of thing, you'll like this deck. If you like Rebecca Campbell decks, you'll like this deck. If you like probably Alana, I don't know. I've never read a Rebecca Campbell or an Alana Fairchild deck, but if you like that sort of thing, you'll like this. I don't like that sort of thing, so I really struggle with this. But because I spent money on it, I'm going to use it. Dang it. until I find somebody who I can pass it along to once I have made peace with it. There might be a time at one point in my life where I decide somebody else will actually get joy from it, and in that case I'll let it go, but right now it's not that time. I want to try to use it. I purchased it. I want to try to use it. All right. So one of my next oracle, actually my next No. This was the next Oracle deck I ever bought myself, the Herbal Astrology. This one I actually do like. I don't love it, but I really like it. I find it does not need the guidebook. The guidebook is good, but a lot of it is not necessary. So let's do it this way. Let me give the deck a shuffle, and we'll pull a card, and then we'll read the guidebook entry on it, okay? And we'll read the whole guidebook entry, and you can see what is important and what is the quasi-educational filler. And I say quasi-educational because it wants to be educational, but it doesn't quite make the mark, only because it has to be so short and concise. And because of that, it's all summary, and all the summaries start to look the same after a while. You'll see what I mean. Well, maybe not, because I'm only going to... Let's pull a card and read the guidebook. Mandrake, Sensuality, card number 45. Up here we have the symbols. Let me see. The astrological symbols that are associated with Mandrake. As you can see, the artwork is very intricate. We've got a lot of muted earth colors going on, some jewel tones. Let's see what the guidebook has to say. This one has 54 cards in it, I believe. 55 cards. Mandrake, Sensuality. So it gives us some keywords that I wish were on the card, but they're not, so that's okay. It says, sensuality, discovering new forms of intimacy, finding the inner beloved, expression of health, sexuality, abundance. Reversed is blocked sensuality, shame around sexuality, creative energy, misdirected, unchanneled desire. It's ruled astrologically by Neptune and Venus. It's known as Satan's apple, devil's apple, and man's root. Mandrake is one of the most famous mystical aphrodisiac plants. In ancient times, the dried root was soaked in wine and enjoyed as a love potion, and was believed to be a cure for infertility in women. Native to the Mediterranean, the roots of this unusual plant look identical to a little human. Also called love apples in the Old Testament of the Bible, the golden yellow fruit of the mandrake can cause intoxicating sexual desire. According to the Kabbalah, mandrake was the symbol for becoming one, and the text alludes to it being used in secret mystical rites in ancient Israel. In ancient Egypt, mandrake fruit and wine were used as love offerings during courtship and consumed as aphrodisiacs. Mandrake is the embodiment of Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of love and fertility. Mandrake was also used in ancient Greece as a love potion and as and for ceremonial love rituals. Like in ancient Egypt, it goes on. We're going to keep going. We committed to this. We're going to keep going. Where did we leave off? Mandrake was also used in ancient Greece as a love potion and for ceremonial love rituals. Like in ancient Egypt, the aphrodisiac root was associated with the goddess of love, Aphrodite. Medicinally, it was used as a narcotic to relieve anxiety, depression, insomnia, pain, colic, stomach ulcers, and constipation. Although mandrake has a strong masculine signature, its nature is much like those of Venus and Neptune. Mandrake powerfully shifts the body into a higher state of love bliss under the influence of Neptune, as well as Venus's lusty and sensual energy. So that's just the background. That's just the information about it that you can learn if you want to. I love that it has that. I wish that we had a little bit more about why it's associated with the planets it's associated with. The deck is called the Herbal Astrology, and astrology is in really big font. Like, I don't know how clearly you can see that, but it's in pretty big font up there with Herbal, and it's only so small. Guidance says, Mandrake is here to ask you to find new forms of intimacy. Ask yourself what inspires bliss, joy, and passion in my life. Notice how you relax into flow and more easily attract what you need and desire when you focus on energy givers such as joy. Mandrake is here to assist you in liberating unchanneled creativity and sensuality, releasing energy from the sacral center and activating your pleasure center to experience a higher form of love. Don't allow unworthiness, fear of rejection, and inhibition of pleasure to stop you from experiencing higher love. Focus on giving your gifts to the world with overwhelming passion and opening up to receiving fearlessly. Like, that's a good message. It's a good little entry into the guidebook. I just wish that we had more information than just this one little paragraph about the astrological associations that this book makes. It would feel a little bit more integrated if that were the case. One thing I do use this deck for on occasion, when I have timing questions, I will use the astrological indicators for timing related answers. So that's something that you can do with this deck. But yeah, the Herbal Astrology Oracle, I like it. It's, I would say it's a 6.5 out of 10 for me. The next one that I want to show off is the Spirit Allies Oracle. This one, I'm going to come out of the gate and say this is a 4 out of 10. I like it. It's fine. I don't love it. I would have given it away, except that I think I can maybe use it for spell work or altar work or meditation or something. So the entire deck, it shuffles really well. I'll say that. It is a darn good shuffler. And it does have 60 cards, so that's a point in its favor. I wouldn't have bought it if it were a little deck. But I did buy a little deck once, a mass market little deck, and it was only 44 cards, 44, 45. I gave it away. I thought it would resonate with me because it was about poetry. It didn't work. Me and that deck, we did not connect. It was beautiful too. Anyways, that'll be another video, decks I've gotten rid of. This one here, I did not get rid of, even though I gave away the tarot deck that I had originally purchased to pair with this deck. I gave it away because I used it to learn with. I thought it was a great learning deck, and then I never reached for it again, so I wanted to pass it along to someone else in the hopes that they could learn with it. But I kept this deck because, like I said, I think I could maybe use it for altar decoration, spell work, meditation. On occasion, I do pull it. As you can see, I've damaged some of the cards. I'm hard on my decks. I do, on occasion, pull cards from this one when I'm doing a really big reading, but for smaller readings, I just don't find it to quite hit the mark. It's really cute. It lacks keywords. If it had keywords on the card, I think me and this deck would have a better time. Someday I might go in and pen in keywords on it in white, with like a gesso pen or something like that. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. I might do that myself, to make this deck good. I spent money on it. I'm going to use it. It's like the Oracle, the Yogic Path Oracle. If I spent money on it, I'm going to use it. Until I can find a better home for it. That's just how it goes. All right. So the next deck that I bought in the life of my decks was the Untamed Elemental. I talked about this deck in a... Oh, I really got to watch out for that. I talked about this deck in a Playing with Pairs that I did recently. I don't know if I've uploaded it yet, but I have recorded it already. I recorded it earlier today, actually, so I don't know if I've uploaded it yet. But this deck is very unintuitive. It's... Here, let me just give you a quick flip through. This card jumped out. It wants to be first. This deck is very unintuitive. As you can see, it is entirely these... these are beautiful geometric designs, very minimalist, very colorful, very... evocative of what they're trying to evoke, while still being on the verge of abstract. I love this deck. I think it's so stunning. I love the artwork for it. I enjoy the concept. I don't think the concept is well executed. Basically, the entire deck is split up into 5 categories. 5 elemental categories. Earth, water, air, fire, ether. And some of the categorizations don't make much sense. Praying Mantis, for example, is fire for some reason. And then it's got Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine as wild cards. I just wish it had... guide words, or like even just one guide word. Ideally, so this is my ideal setup for an oracle deck. I would like a title that I can work with. So like the name of an animal, that's fine. I can work with that. I can learn about the animal in a deck study and bounce off of that. And then I want a keyword that relates to what the artist wanted the deck to mean. And then I have the option of using the keyword or the title and going in either direction. Ideally, I do not want them side by side. I want them far away from each other on the card so that I can use either one, pick and choose as I see fit. That is the Untamed Elemental. Oh, the guidebook. Let me tell you how the guidebook reads. We'll do a test pull for this one too. We'll probably end up doing test pulls for most of them. We didn't do that for the Yogic Path. I'm sorry. I'm not going back to it. I don't think that deck deserves a pull if I haven't already done it. Owl. That's me being so unfair. I don't care though. I don't care. Oh, the guidebook's far away. Never mind. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to get up and go get the guidebook. We'll do that in another video, probably. I'll do a playing with pairs, and I'll give you a guidebook reading for this one. If you want to see a dedicated review where I show you all of the pairs that I think this goes with, and I talk more in depth about it, and I do like a dedicated guidebook, like several guidebook readings, I don't know, let me know, but I doubt. There are better things for me to review, let me put it that way. All right, so this one was a gift from my mom for Christmas. The Citadel Oracle. This is, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it before. It's very popular. It is a Liminal 11 production. It comes in a very annoying box. I've discussed it before on this channel, and it's shuffleable. I swear, I say that I swear it's shuffleable, and then it completely overwhelms me. See, I have to turn it this way to, oh no, I messed that up. This goes this way. No, it goes this way. It goes this way. These go this way. Right? I'm doing this right now, I think. Ta-da! Yes, okay. So this is the Citadel. Minimalist, black, white, red, and copper foiling. I wish that I had been able to get the special edition kit that it came with, but it was just not worth the money. I was not about to ask my mom to buy me all of that for like, just because the shipping, getting it directly from Liminal 11, the conversion rate from pounds to USD, not worth it, just not worth it. So I just asked for it off of Amazon instead, because that was much more financially viable for a gift. I really enjoy this deck. I don't want to do a guidebook pull because this deck has been done to death up and down all alleyways. I'm sure you can go out there and find other people reading the guidebook. I would like to move on to another deck. I'm definitely going to be filming the tarot video separately. We're gonna let that be another video. This one's going to be Paraphernalia and Oracle only. So my husband made the executive decision to get us dinner, so he surprised me with that, and now I don't have daylight anymore, so if the lighting's a little off, that's why. I've got plenty of lighting here in the apartment. It's just not as cozy as the daylight. It might be a little bluer, so that's what we're dealing with here. So the next deck I want to talk about is the Modern Nirvana Oracle. This one I bought explicitly and exclusively to pair with the Zeke's Arcana Tarot. I do pair it with that a lot. I also pair it with other things. It's only a 50 card deck. It's not huge. I don't love that. I wish that it had more cards. I wish it had about like at least 10 more cards. At least 10 more cards I feel like would really flesh out some of the ideas present in this deck. 5 of them could even be the sigil cards, and what I mean by that we'll see in just, oh wow, that was really quick. So the sigil cards are obviously sigils. There's not a scene, there's not artwork, and some of the phrases like the Philosopher's Stone are a little bit esoteric and heady for no good reason. or at least I feel like they're not. There's one that's called like the Rose Phoenix, and that one's just a big miss for me. But I love the artwork when the artwork is actually there. And I do pair this deck regularly. It's just with it only being 50 cards, there's only so many cards you can pull and only so many ways that reading can go before it starts to feel a bit redundant. So I have backed off of this deck a little bit, especially because some of these cards are, like kindness comes up for me all the time. And like, I get it, I'm working on it, but I get it, I'm working on it, you know? But that's the modern Nirvana. We don't need to go through the whole deck. The next one I'm going to talk about was part of a double impulse purchase. Wait, no. I was about to skip one. Before we can move on to the double impulse purchase, let's talk about this bad boy. This is the Tantric Dakini. If you hear sounds, that is my kitten. He is playing on my chair. This is the Tantric Dakini. I do not keep it in its box because its box is huge, because this is the book that it came with, which is also huge. The Tantric Dakini takes itself very seriously, and I don't want to talk down on it for that, because like there's no harm in taking yourself seriously when you make a piece of art, but it does require that you, the user, also take it very seriously. So I have yet to actually finish my studies with this deck. Oh goodness, the sound quality may have been really off. I haven't been using my headphones. Let me switch. I have no idea what that sounded like for y'all, if it sounded like anything. I feel a lot better now with my headphones in. I honestly don't know if they make any difference to the audio recording whatsoever, but I like to use them. The doors are also open now, so it might be a little bit echoey. We're going to try to get through this. I'm so sorry about the sound. We're figuring it out as we go. This is the Tantric Dakini. Very flimsy cardstock. Lots of cards. 64 of them, I believe. Even with the flimsy cardstock, it's kind of a weird shuffler. Mostly because the cards somehow still stick together, but I think it's because they're so thin. It especially clumps at the top and bottom of the deck when you shuffle. The middle seems to feather out a little bit better. But it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's no Antique Anatomy when it comes to shuffling, so that's fine. I just wish it had slightly better cardstock, especially for the price that this deck is. But then again, you are paying for the guidebook, the very extensive guidebook. Honestly, I kind of want to read you one of the guidebook entries. Let's do that. So, the Rose Garden. All right. This is number 52. I've read this one before, but let's go ahead and pull it up and do it again. So the Rose Garden bears the number 52, signifying the fulfillment of the path of intuition. According to the classification by elements, this is the first of the earth cards, normally related to the suit of pentacles in the minor arcana in the traditional tarot. The card is filled with the open blossoms of several various shades of pink roses. The velvety texture, delicate hues, and remembered fragrance suggests the garden of earthly delights, that secret sensual place where all desires are fulfilled to abundance. With petals voluptuous and soft as open mouths, the roses represent the delights of the senses and the offering of the secrets of the inner sanctum. Divinatory meaning, a highly pleasurable and fulfilling experience, heightening the senses and taking a mystical position within the heart, a special secret experience where the sensual blooms becomes the mystical. At the base location of the Tree of Life chart, it represents a passionate sexual experience and or an earthly abundance, a life of luxury. In the spleen, it symbolizes the distilled essence of all things taken into the self, radiated health and growth. At the navel, this card indicates refined sensibility and the fruit of all transformations, whereas at the heart, it tells of emotional fulfillment and completion leading to the attainment of heart desire. desires. In the throat, it is the image of the dream of the aspirations, their realized form, suggesting that for the questioner, the sensual and creative natures are inseparable. At the head location, the card tells of the realization of all the innermost desires as the outcome, particularly with regard to the affairs of the heart. Meditate on this card at the Garden of Delight, the essential nature principle of the embodiment within the psyche. Oh my gosh, there's just so much in this guidebook, and so much of it is esoteric, so much of it is about your spiritual path. There is only so much that you can use this deck for because of that. However, I love using this in my goddess readings, in my divine masculine readings. I love using it for my highest self readings. I think it works really well for that sort of thing. But if you're asking, like, what's some good advice for me today to, like, get through your work day, this thing is not going to get you there. But I'm really happy that I have it. It's a weird little guy and I like it. Next, we have some impulse purchases that I made. So the first of them I want to talk about is the Outlaw Oracle. I bought this baby on Shop because I had some really good discounts on a specific seller. And so I got it for what I considered was a slightly more reasonable price. This deck frustrates me at how expensive it is for how few cards it is, but it's a Oracle deck that is indie. It's an Oracle deck that is indie, so I have to say I understand. And the experience of using this deck is fabulous. I don't know if you can hear the swish of the cards and how magical it is, but the texture of these bad boys, it's like this really almost but not quite rugged matte. Like, it really matches the aesthetic. It pulls me in, it really does. And the gilding is stunning. It's shiny, but it's not hard. It's somehow like just one with the card. I don't know, maybe because the card itself is almost plasticky in texture, that the gilding is more supported. I don't know. But let's look at some of the cards. So this deck is divided up by elemental suits. Because this is a relatively new purchase for me, I have not done any sort of deep dive. I have worked with it, and that's about it. But it does have a title that you can see here. It also has keywords along the bottom and some additional keywords on the side. So this card is the Pioneer. It's 9 of fire. I think that's fire. I don't know. I have to admit, I don't know. Let's find out. 9 of, watch it be earth or something. No, I know that it's not earth. It's either fire. It's fire. Oh, I'm right. I'm not very good at remembering which is which with the little triangle guys. I'm still working on that. For some reason, I feel just really dyslexic when I try to work with those. But it says Trailblazer, Explorer, Long Haul Driver, and then on the side it says Endurance and Experience. Coyote, Trickster, Survivor, Cunning. Turquoise. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not even holding the card center. Let me fix that. Is it focused? My camera only records like 10 minutes at a time and it cut me off. So sorry about that. I just wanted to do a quick guidebook highlight. Let's just quickly... The Outlaw. Independent, authentic, the outlier. It is the 8 of fire, and the side of the card... Oh, my nails need to be cleaned. Says operating outside of the establishment. Alright, so the Outlaw, number 8... It says, oh, this one's long. No, I'm not doing all of that. This one's one of the longer entries. Some of them, let's do grit. Oh, roadside motel is nice and short. We're going to do roadside motel. So sorry. I've only got so much room on my camera, you know? So, straight shot. I'm going to relax. I'm going to relax for a bit, but I've done enough for now. Upright says respite, peace, safety, security, recovery, a cause for celebration. Reversed says instability, turmoil, unrest, a need to cultivate a sense of safety, home, or belonging for yourself or someone in your life. Take action. So that's like the quick information. Then it's got some song recommendations. They're all like country. Roadside Motel. I'm so embarrassed about my nasty nails. Ew. It's because they're so short and I scratch my head a lot. I've got nearly no hair and I like scratch my head when I'm nervous, and so I get, you know what? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I wash my hands. It's just my nails are really short. I have to shh, we're moving on. I swear to God, I wash my hands so much. They get cracks in them from being washed so much. I swear to God. Cold AC, soft bed, cable TV, your home for the night. The road gets long and lonely sometimes. This card offers respite for a short time. Weary traveler, park the car. Score a sweet, take a break from your endless journey. The road continues tomorrow, but for now it's safe to take a beat. You've covered good ground, crack a cold one, jump in the pool or in the bed and make some new friends. Enjoy yourself, celebrate the journey. And most of these photos are by Hillary Banks' self. Some of them aren't, but most of them are. So that's how the little guidebook for this guy goes. Let me put that away. And then I only have one more to discuss, and that is one I've done before, the Poesis Oracle. I'm actually going to quickly give my husband a call. He was just calling me, so let me call him back, let him know that everything's okay, and then we're going to delve into this bad boy really quickly. I've shown it before. I don't want to spend too much time with it. I've talked about it a lot before, so we'll just do a quick flip through some cards. I'll be right back. So the Poesis Oracle I bought at the same time as the Outlaw Oracle with the same discount as the Outlaw Oracle. But the difference with this bad boy is that I was able to get it, because this one came out to more than $50, I was able to get it on their payment plan, where the other one I paid for all at once, so that did split up the cost. I don't know why I'm showing you the backs like it's the front of the cards. Like, here's the backs. They all look exactly the same. I'm not paying any attention to what I'm doing, obviously. This is easily the most luxurious deck in my collection. It is soft, so soft, like a velvet finish. Reminds me of NARS makeup packaging, and the sides are this matte gold gilding. So you've got that soft touch velvet, thick sturdy cardstock, matte gilding on the edges, makes for a fantastic shuffle. It gives you a lot of control over the cards because they are matte. They're not super duper sticky, so they don't really slide too much. They can a little bit get stuck on themselves, but not a whole lot compared to, say, the Intuitive Night Goddess. It's not that kind of sticky. As you can see, it is a little bit. It does catch on itself a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad because I can get a nice smooth shuffle out of this deck, and I cannot get a smooth shuffle out of the Intuitive Night Goddess. That one's a clumpy baby. So let me do that one more time. Oh, so satisfying. And then let's take a look at the faces. Entirely cream and black. I'm not even entirely sure that I've seen all of the cards in this deck, and I know for a fact that I have. Let's take a look at the poem for Simplify. Let me see what the poem for Simplify says. I'm literally singing the alphabet in my head to get to where S is. I am a child. Simplify. Faced with a problem that needs to be solved, pick apart the pieces into something you can hold. Reconnect to your original values and begin again from the place that has filtered any excess and where convolutions have been cut out, where any lost and laborious trajectories are reclaimed and redirected. Powerful communication is often transmitted through the least amount of words, and a refining of intelligence into its most elegant form. Well, that was a very unsimple poem for a very simple message. I gotta admit, I don't love the poetry in the Poesis poetry as poetry. I'm really sorry to Megan King, but so a lot of these poems are a major miss for me poetically. Some of them are really beautiful. I can't think of which ones off the top of my head, but I haven't read them all, so my opinion is half-assed at best. So take my opinion with much salt, but I'm not a huge fan of the poetry. I think it would be better as just straight up guidebook entries. But then I'm still salty about the fact that this deck does not come with a guidebook. I had to print mine off myself through desperate means. I will link the PDF that I made down below in case you want your own copy of the poetry. All credit to Megan King. She wrote it. I did not. Please do not associate it with me. It was hers. And those are all of... Oh, this one's out of order because it's not in the box, but I don't know how I forgot my Archetypes deck, my Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So this one is not in order of when I purchased it. Don't look at the nipples. Use the one with the sensor bar. Don't stack them on top of each other, though, because they will slide in and then you can't get them out. It's, like, so annoying. The Poesis box is the same way, so just be aware. This deck does shuffle. It does riffle, it does bridge. It doesn't get you a super fine shuffle, but you can get surprisingly good shuffle with this deck. I find it annoying to handle, but not so annoying that I won't use it because the deck itself is so good. It's coming out in a pocket size, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but I'm almost certainly going to purchase the pocket size of this deck because I just love it so much. I'm going to wait to buy the Alchemy deck on the off chance that it also comes out in a pocket size. I just think that they're really good decks, or at least I hope the Alchemy's a really good deck. I've heard good things about it, and weird deck shapes don't seem to really bother me all that much. I would rather have a normal deck shape, but I'll take an oddball. So I'm going to get that one when it comes out small size, if it comes out small size. I'm going to give it like 2 years maybe, and then I'll give in and buy the deck maybe. I don't know. I say that, but then I'm very impulsive. I know everybody and their mother has shown off this deck, so we don't need to spend a whole lot of time flipping through it. But I will take a moment to recognize Kim Kranz's work. I really, really love this deck. I find that it delivers very potent messages with and without the guidebook. I find that the artwork gives me more to work with than I thought that it would upon first glance. I find the round shape to be a really good way to draw attention to this deck in a reading, to make it the focal point. I don't think it's necessary, but it does do something, so at least there's that. You can use this deck with itself. That's something that I look for in an Oracle deck. I want it to be something that can stand on its own, that doesn't need a tarot deck with it if I want to. The Poesis, and the Citadel are the only Oracle decks I have that can stand on their own and do... I mean, technically, the Tantric Dakini claims that it can, and I have not explored that yet, so that one may be too. But I want more Oracle decks that don't have to have tarot with them. I want big, beefy Oracle decks that get across a lot of information. I want more cards, please, more cards. The Oracle deck that I made myself is only 36 cards, and I hate that about it. That's my least favorite thing about the Oracle deck that I made myself, is how small it is. And when I made it on Make Playing Cards, I went ahead and beefed it up to 54 by adding in an extra 18 text-based cards that I consider an expansion pack for the deck. So when that comes in, I will be showing it off here. Don't you worry about that. And I will probably get some more of them made. If I like it, I'll get some more of them made for my friends and family, and I'll see about selling some if there's demand for it. I don't think there will be, because quite frankly, it's just not that good. But I'm very happy with it anyways. I'm happy with my entire collection. I do have things that I want. I will be making an aspirational collection video where I talk about the things that I want into my collection. So that's going to be coming in the future. And there are several Oracle decks on that list. Not a lot, but several. And so that'll be another video that you'll see in the future. Also, keep your eye out for my follow-up video to this, where I show off all of my tarot decks in my collection. So this has been my Paraphernalia and my Oracle decks. And so next time we're going to do my tarot decks, and then we'll do some aspirational collections, and maybe in between we'll do some more playing with pairs or some more tags. We'll see. I've got so many ideas for videos that I don't know what I'm going to do next. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this entire time. It's been a very long video. I hope you're having an amazing day or night. It's nighttime here now. I love you. You're wonderful. I love today. I love tomorrow. And I'm working on loving yesterday. Bye.